Okay, so to remove the fuel tank from a Honda VFR 750, this is the Gen 4 94 to 97 model. Okay, you need to remove a few things. First of all, now you need to disconnect the fuel line from the tank, so it feeds into the tank here via this pipe. And what you need to do is, there is a little clip in here. It's kind of hard to see. Let me just get a light. Okay, so there's a little clip there. You need to remove that clip, and then you should just pull this pipe off. So you're just pulling the pipe off the fuel tank. So that's going to be quite stiff. Now the alternative is that you actually disconnect it here. So you can disconnect it at the fuel filter. Now that's what I did. I will remove this clip, I'll just squeeze it and then pull it back, and I'm going to disconnect it from the fuel pump, or from the fuel filter. The reason being that I'm going to replace the fuel filter on this on the bike as well. So I'm just going to disconnect it here. Okay, what you want to do is you want to put a bit of a rag here, because there is going to be petrol spillage. Okay, now before you disconnect that pipe, I need to go around to the other side, and I need to turn off the tap for the fuel from the tank. Now I just wanted to show you here that there is a bolt here. This is the bolt, or the nut on the end of the bolt. So the nut is on the left hand side, so you need to loosen that nut. Okay, I think it's a 10mm socket to loosen that nut. Remove the nut. Okay, and then we can go around the other side. Okay, so on the right hand side we can see here we have the little tap. Okay, let me get my leg again. Okay, so there's the little tap. You can see that it's pointing to the on position there now. So to turn it to off, I'm just going to reach in and I'm going to turn it counterclockwise. Okay, it should be very easy. Should be no resistance really at all. It's now in the off position. Okay. If the tap is not turned off, fuel is just going to pour out everywhere. So you need to make sure that the fuel tap is off. Once the fuel tap is off, there is two pipes here. So there's 1 and 2 pipes here. Now they need to be removed. Okay, now they are not actually, they're some sort of drainage pipes. There is actually no fuel flows through those pipes, so you don't have to worry about removing them and fuel going everywhere. They have no fuel going through them. In theory they shouldn't. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to disconnect this feed into the wiring harness here. Okay, it's just this one here. So, and we want to secure this, or remove it from its shackle. Okay, you want to loosen that out there. Okay, and you want to disconnect this. It's clipped on here, a little clip there, and you want to pull that out, and we're going to disconnect that. That is the feed for the fuel gauge, which is located inside the tank on the bottom side. That's how it connects into the wiring loom, so you want to disconnect that. And once we have the nut removed from this bolt here, which is securing on the fuel tank, we want to then pull this bolt out. So the bolt comes out on the right hand side, but it should in theory just come straight up. Now when it comes up, there is no other attachments, there's no other bolts or anything to be screwed out, but it is held on. There is a little, it actually slots in here at the front. The fuel tank slots into a connection point on the frame. So when you lift the fuel tank upwards, you want to then move it backwards. So you move it up and lift it up in the air and then slide it backwards, and it should slide out from the connection at the front. You want to be careful that you don't lose any of your rubber spacers. So we have one here. Let me just shine the light a bit better. See it? There's one here. Okay. So this is just to stop the fuel tank banging off the frame of the motorcycle. So it's a little protective rubber. Okay. And we have some little rubbers here, little rubber grommet, where the rear fairing feeds into. So I probably forgot to mention that I removed the rear fairing first of all, before I did any of this. So that's the first thing you have to do. I have done another video on how to remove the rear fairing, so you can take a look at that. Okay, so let's get cracking and let's remove that fuel tank. Okay, so turn off the tap. Okay, that's off. I'm going to remove this clip here. Okay, I'm going to disconnect it from the fuel filter. So remove this clip. Slide it back, take a bit of tissue. Will be a little bit of petrol spillage, not much. Okay, tissue should gather most of that. Okay, leave that there. I'm going to remove this bolt. Okay. There's my little nut. Keep that. Get the bolt, pull it through. There's my bolt. The nut goes on the end of that. Disconnect the breather pipes. There's two of them. One, two. There's my breather pipes. Okay. Lift it up. Get a firm grip of it. Slide it backwards slowly. And there's our tank-free